If you battle with confidence and self-worth issues, you feel like you have low self-esteem and you feel like life hasn't been the same. You're trying to hold on, you're trying to show up to the world, but on the inside, you look at yourself and say, am I enough? Am I good enough? Am I beautiful enough? Am I smart enough? Am I good enough for a husband? Am I good enough for this current husband? Like you question yourself. This video is for you because oftentimes we speak about on this channel the spiritual piece, the healing piece, the femininity piece. But something else that I know for a fact impacts women is women who are navigating low self esteem issues because of something that happened in their past, right? Maybe you were in a relationship and the person made you feel inadequate. That person compared you to other women. That person made you feel like you were not enough. And now you carry that truth with you. Perhaps it came from certain friends that always made you feel like you were not up to their level. And maybe your entire life you had friends like this, right? Who belittled you and made you feel unworthy. Perhaps it's from your parents. It doesn't matter where it's rooting from, right? If you're navigating this where you feel like, you're trying to show up in the world as if you have confidence, but on the inside of you, you feel like you have low self worth. I want you to understand that I'm here for you. Maybe you have a daughter, you have, you know, a business that you're running and you're in a leadership position. And oftentimes I see women who suffer from low self esteem or imposter syndrome. They get into certain positions, whether it's motherhood, leadership, manager position, or maybe it's you dating, and here you are trying to show up as your best self, but you cannot fake confidence, right? I tell people that all the time. You cannot fake confidence. It's something that exudes from you. It's something that people will naturally sense. You know how people say fake it till you make it? You really can't do that, right? If you're not wearing perfume and you walk into a room as if you have perfume on, it's like you can't fake it. People just won't smell it because you're not wearing anything. Just like if you're wearing a nice perfume till you walk into a room, the moment you pass by, the world will be like, it's not that you have to open your mouth to say it, right? And I think sometimes we think we can fake that, but confidence is an inside job. It's something that you really have to rebuild, especially if it has been stripped from you, especially it has been taken away from you. Perhaps it's how your father spoke to you, right? He took away your sense of self. He took away your sense of confidence. Perhaps is your mom. You didn't have a great relationship with your mom. She took away your sense of self, right? And it's so important that you rebuild that aspect of your life, because after the healing comes the confidence. After the healing, because you could be fully healed, but also at the same time, you're empty. Yes, I've released this, but you haven't taken the step to rebuild yourself yet. And because of it, you're missing out on a great relationship. You're missing out on your current marriage. Like you can't bond with your spouse, right? Your husband could give you a compliment, but if you within yourself, you don't believe you're beautiful, you don't believe you're worthy, everything he says will come in this year and walk out the other year, right? Because within yourself, you have to believe it first before you can internalize it. If you have not internalized the belief of self that yes, I am worthy, I'm enough, the world can't give it to you. And I think that's why sometimes a lot of women, they keep asking their spouse, like, do you love me? Do you find me attractive? You're asking not necessarily because you're trying to build rapport, but you're trying to hear it from him so that you can feel as if you're beautiful, right? But again, confidence is an inside job. It's not something that you could ever just get from the outside world. Some of us, we try to look good. We try to do our hair. We try to do our makeup. We won't miss a hair appointment. We shop the most expensive clothing. We have the wardrobe. But if you're honest, you probably realize after you've obtained all of that, you still don't feel that within yourself. Because again, confidence, it's good to look good and to put yourself out there in the best possible way. But if that's all you have worked on is the outside piece, well, the inside piece weighs, I would say, 80 to 90% more. Because you can be wearing a t-shirt and jeans and you walk out the door. If within yourself you feel confident, not cocky, but you feel confident, the world will sense that, because it's not really about what you wear. There's a way in which you show up into a room. There's a way your shoulders lay. There's a way your head is laid. There's a way you can make eye contact. It all is subconscious. All of it is subconscious. Okay. In previous episodes, we've spoken about how communication is 93% nonverbal. 93% is nonverbal. So when you walk out of your home, you walk into your job, into the business place, in front of your clients, into the world, in front of your husband. If you're dating, you're meeting someone, 93% of who you are is being communicated subconsciously or nonverbally. So you can try to hide that 7% with your words. You may speak and try to express that you're confident, but a person will sense if it's not true. So what do you do if it's you watching this? Maybe you are in this particular phase where you're like, you know what, I've released the past, I've let it go, but maybe you are in a space right now where you're like, yeah, my biggest issue is the confidence piece. I want to let you know that you're not alone. There's a lot of women that we work with on a daily basis that navigates this kind of situation where they find themselves in a place where they can't move forward to being the magnetic woman that they know God has called them to be because they haven't built that place yet. Because after the healing comes the rebuilding of the self. Yes, you have released that toxic relationship. Yes, maybe you got a divorce. Maybe the relationship was abusive in some kind of way and you walked out of it. Yes, you left that toxic friendship. Maybe you left that toxic church. You left that toxic whatever it may have been. You left that environment. But after leaving that environment and you've released it, that's not enough. That's the first piece. We speak about emotional healing here all the time. But the other aspect of it is the rebuilding of the self. How do you rebuild yourself? How do you rebuild that worth that was stripped from you, that broke you down, that cut you down because of that past relationships, right? Because relationships could either make or break you based on how you're navigating it, right? So if this is you watching this and you need support, you're looking at our content here and you're like, yes, I've gone through the healing. I want to be the feminine, magnetic person that naturally draws in my husband, that naturally draws in friendships and business opportunities and all these different things. The missing piece for you may be that particular aspect, which is rebuilding yourself. And if you're watching and you need support, you can always send me an email. We have an entire video curriculum and guide that Holy Spirit has called me to put together because, again, I don't teach anything or I don't coach around anything that I haven't yet seen, especially when it comes to the emotional piece of it, or the rebuilding of self and the femininity. This whole video curriculum has been literally drafted and put together, beautifully crafted into segments that makes it easy for you to consume, like Netflix, right? It's a series of things that you get to watch over time that engages you and will give you all the tools needed to navigate the entire journey. We give you everything that you need. So if this is you and you would love to tap into this video guide that will transform your life, that will transform things for you, if what you're looking for is results and you're ready for results, then my email is right here on the description box. It's right here. You can always reach out to me. I'm always happy to keep some time to talk. If you want the link to purchase the curriculum, the moment that you purchase it, the video guide, you get access to it instantly and you can start tapping into it as early as right now. Again, if what you're looking for is results, reach out to me because I got you. So I hope this episode was very helpful to you, Queen. God bless you. Thank you for tuning in. I want to encourage you continuously again, what you're doing now, if you make the decision to start rebuilding yourself, it will take away the imposter syndrome. It will remove the low self-esteem. It will remove the self-doubt. It will, it will get you to stop shrinking yourself, Queen. There's amazing things that God has in store for you, but you will never be able to tap into it until you truly have done that particular work where it's like, okay, you put yourself in a position to receive it, right? If you have a fractured arm and and you cannot even lift up your arms and God's like, I have a box of mangoes for you. Whatever fruit you love, let's just say you love food. God's like, I have an amazing dinner for you. And he's literally bring it to you. If your arm is fractured and you can't lift it up, you won't even be able to grab it. That's what happens when you're fractured. That's what happens when you're not whole. That's what happens when you don't have the self-esteem yet. That's what happens when you don't have true confidence. Not fake it till you make it confidence, true confidence. There's blessings that God is literally waiting to give to you, but because you're fractured, you don't even have the strength to receive it. Do not let your past hurt. Do not let your fragmented heart, do not let those things hold you back from God's best. Okay, I see a lot of women who are struggling with that piece because they are not yet in a position where they have done what's necessary to receive what God has. So this is not just about the inner piece. It's not just about the wholeness. That's a huge part of it. Because if it has been bothering you that you're still in that place, it's going to give you a lot of internal peace. And also at the same time, it automatically positions you for better. And I say this too, a woman who is healed and whole and feminine choose better relationships. Their marriages thrive better. their children will learn from them. If you're not doing this for you and you have children or you want to have children, understand too, making a decision to go through this process would literally also give you the tools to give to your daughter. Because kids don't learn. Again, remember, communication is 93% nonverbal. So your daughter, who will be looking up to you, is going to be watching you and picking up on those 93% subconscious behaviors and things. And that's what she's going to extract from it. It doesn't matter how much you tell her she's beautiful, that 7%, oh, I love you and all of that. She's going to pick up something different from you 93% more. I tell this to women all the time. The choices you're making for you right now to become a better person, to go through a healing journey, the wholeness journey, and to tap into your feminine energy, it's not just for you. It's for your future generation. It's for your daughter. It's for your daughter's daughter. It's for your grandchildren, because this thing is generational. If the enemy uses wound, like we've been talking about in previous episodes, to keep you bound, what do you think happens if you haven't mastered that? You haven't broken free from that? Now it's going to be passed down to your children. It's unfortunate. I see that all the time. The things that you as a person, you don't break, you pass it on to your children, and now they have to try to figure out how to break that. Is it worth it? There's things that I had to break into my personal life, and I'm like, no, the future generation won't have to deal with that. So keep that in mind. Nothing that you're doing in this season is just for you. There's a few, and I want you to think about this going forward. Everything you do, every decision you make, every investment you make into yourself to be in a better position, mind, body, soul, spirit, emotionally, and all of it, it's for you, it's for your current family, and it's for the generations down the line. Because if blessings are passed down from generation to generation to generation, just like the word talks about, guess what? Curses are the same. It passes down from generation to generation. Our brokenness is passed down from generation to generation to generation. So it's so important for you to break that cycle. Okay? So love you so much, Queen. God bless you. As you know, I'm always here for you. Looking forward to pouring into you. Until our next episode.